What's up, YouTube? This is Sean again, and today I'm in the beautiful hotel here at downtown Manhattan, in New York. I figured, what is it better to do than recording a video, talk about another thing that I've just built, and sharing this with you guys. Just want to kind of show you guys what it looks like outside of my window. There you go. That's beautiful New York downtown. I'm right here at near 28th Street. But anyway, without further ado, let's jump to today's topic, looking at a chatbot that I've just built. All right, beautiful. So this is the kind of the um, framework that I've built using Voiceflow. This is a chatbot for one of my client, actually. Well, actually, my first client um, here in my neighborhood, and they have a website that offers a couple of programs, coaching sessions, retreats, also ebooks, you know, refreshment, nurturing human life, focusing on wellness, etc., etc. So the chatbot really is something that a client wants it to be up and running, that's able to answer questions, but also kind of just book the retreats and book their coaching sessions and also purchase resources from online. But on the purchase part, is actually incomplete. If you take a look at this portion, it's incomplete. I have not really have a path after this block, which I will be finishing it once I have the actual payment system set up by my client so that we can proceed further. So how it goes about in Voiceflow is that you started by creating a workplace, and then with and also a database, right? So the knowledge, okay, it's a little messy over here. The problem is my client right now is still having his website uh, protected by password, so I'm not able to retrieve. Actually, that's the website that my client is going to launch, but it is not something that's online just yet. But they're about to launch in a couple of days. But I figured just um, I'll do a quick video about this. But I've downloaded all the informations from the website and print them into PDFs and feed the AI. Basically, has all the information that's required as a database. And then once you go to the workflows, this is where all the magic happens, right? It's basically what it does is, it will come here and say, hey, I'm Dave from Humor Journey Institute, which is, the website service my client is having. And then how can I help you today? That's starting with the welcome text. And then the first very important thing that we need to do is to get the intent, right? So we need to understand the intent of the customer to be able to flow this thing to the next step. So on this part, right now, I'm only kind of sharing this prototype with my client, having three different intent, which is book a retreat, book a coaching session, and buy resources or buy books, or no match, right? So I'm just gonna go quickly for this canvas, and I'll be sharing this with you again for free. But then obviously I'll be try to delete those informations that's kind of confidential for my client. But essentially, what it does is it's picking up the intent from the first thing that the customer want. But I want to start to talk about the last one first, which is no match, right? Basically, it's none. So if the AI detected um, none of the three intent, then it's gonna go to this block. I call it the answer any questions block. So basically, from here, what you want to do is the customer may ask a question that's not even relevant to the business, right? The customer could be asking, "What's the weather like today?" All right, or is it safe to go to New York tomorrow, or something like that, right? This is completely irrelevant to the business your customer, your business is having. Then what we want to do is there are two blocks over here. One is uh, I've put in the prompt to use the knowledge base, answer the question from the customer using the database to capture the last utterance. And if it's the question is general, right, just answer the customer directly. So this is a little funny. There's a no found path here available in Voiceflow that basically what he says is when toggled on, it creates a path and prevents AI from responding if answer is not found. So what happens is if you give in the AI, so in Voiceflow, right, there are two options when you want to use the AI model. One is to use the AI model directly. One is to use the database, right? So it's very likely that the customer will ask a question that's relevant to the business. I'll say 80% of the time. So then you want to retrieve information from a database. But then I'm also telling the AI that if the question is general, they answer the customer directly. And to be even um, to make this even sweeter deal, what I've done is I have created a not found path, and then it will flow to a new block called reply to, and I'll be using the AI model, not the knowledge base, but then just reply to a customer's general question to your best knowledge from the last utterance. And last utterance basically means the previous response from the user's input. Okay, so then it goes back to the fallback loop, which we'll talk about it a bit more after this. So this is kind of like the last the step where I want the chatbot to answer customers' questions if the choices that the user pick falls out of the options that I'm providing to the customer, right? So that's the last thing, and also very important step of this chatbot. And then allow me to move back onto the first one, which we call it the book a retreat. You know what? Let me just talk about the fallback loop, which is kind of isolating right here at the upper left corner. So this what happens is I want this fallback loop to be the block that after, because what happens is if the customer just booked a retreat, he may also be interested in buying a book, right? So the customer may have multiple intent in this scenario. So I want the chatbot to be able to once finishing every request from the user, that I want the chatbot to go back to the loop and ask the users about is there anything else that I can help you with, right? So these are again a couple of variants that I've created. So it will prompt this message to the customer at any time there's there's a completed request, or there's anything input by the user that falls out of the algorithm. I hope I'm making sense over here. Okay, so back to the getting the intent. The first thing is book a retreat, and then this one will come to block number 5 and says, it sounds like you're booking a retreat session. Is that right? So I always want to make sure that I create this block to confirm with the customer and then provide the customer with buttons, right? So over here I said yes and no. Later on, when I'm doing the live demo, you will see what it means. So it will verify the intent with the customer so that we are accurately capturing the right uh, intent from the customer, right? So and then you can also see there's a no option, and then this one will go back to the fallback loop because if the AI gets it wrong, you want the user to say, hey, I'm not actually asking to book a retreat session, I'm asking for something else, right? So once they select no, and then this is go back to fallback loop, and then the chatbot will say, is there anything else I can help you with, right? So that's just the logic of flow of this chatbot. All right, and then if the customer selects yes, it will come to new block, and I color it in green so that it's kind of going to the hopefully generate some money for my customer. Great. Can you tell me what type of room would you like to book? Again, generating some variance so that the chatbot doesn't sound too machine-like. And then here I've created 3 buttons: private room, 2-person suite, shared house, and blah, blah, blah. And then over here, the first thing is called set variables, right? So because at the end of the day, I am right now. What I'm doing is I'm posting the uh, booking informations to a Google form, right? So I want the chatbot to be able to capture something. So right here, when the customer selected yes to book a retreat, and then selected one of the rooms um, from here, it's able to kind of tell me what is the booking type, right? So I've set up a booking type over here as a variable. You can set your own variable from this, and then just create a variable so that you let the voice know that there's this variable called booking type, and then you want to set it to the last utterance. So remember, last utterance is always the previous input from the customer, right? So in this case, if customer select private room, then the booking type will be set to private room. If it's two-person suite, it will be set to two-person suite. Okay, and then the next step is the chatbot will say, great, now I will need your full name and contact number and name and addresses, right? And then it's going to capture, this is from a capture right here, opponent, and save the entire reply to contact info. So this is, again, another variable that I'm saving called contact information. And then there's a new block 8, which I think I'm just going to rename it to contact info digest, right? Because what this is doing is I'm again using AI, get contact details, and then basically the prompt is over here, based on the information provided by the customer, which is contact info, because contact info would include phone numbers, email addresses, names, right? Extra name and customer, output just the name, and output 0 if the name cannot be found, or if there's error. I'll talk about this later, why I put it this way, and then apply to customer name. Again, create another variable called customer name. You'll capture as customer name, and then the prompt. The second prompt is which is extracting number, which is give an example, because I've tried it out a few times. Give an example, it'll work better. Because sometimes the customer would have type in, don't know how many digits there, and then maybe with a dash, without a dash, and etc. etc. So this is going to apply to customer phone number. And the last prompt is, the email addresses, right? So again, I've also tell him to tell it to output 0 if the email cannot be found, or if there's error. And what you can do is just do a preview, right? This preview thing here is going to kind of letting you know what kind of output you're getting. So I'm just say John Depp 34, I don't know, this, right? And then let's not leave an email so that I want to see if the AI is able to capture that. So let's say generate, and see that this time the customer name is captured correctly. The customer phone number, however, is not captured correctly. Maybe it's because I put a comma right over there, and there's no customer email, so it's generating 0. So, and you have the idea of what could be the output look like. And then lastly, this is kind of the condition format. So this is logic and condition. Over here, what I'm trying to say is I'm setting up as a business logic, right? And then at any time, customer email is 0, or there's something wrong. Customer name is 0, or customer phone number is 0. In any case, if it matches any of those, which means that any of those things are not completed or entered incorrectly, or there's an error triggered, then it's going to meet this condition and then come to block 16, and then the chatbot is going to say, hey, my apologies, it looks like information entered is wrong or incomplete. Make sure you enter full name, email address, phone number. So it reprompt the customer to input the correct information, because sometimes you're lazy, you just want to say, hey, I'm going to try to beat the chatbot and say, hey, I'm just putting my full name there, email address, maybe don't want to put my phone number. But anyway, in this case, I'm just going to do a demo for my customer. Maybe he will say, oh, we just need an email address, then I can delete the phone number. You get the idea, right? Here is just to show you what this thing can achieve. And then if that's the case, what's going to happen is this is, okay, it's a little messy over here. So I want you to be able to see the line clearly. And then it's going to save the entire reply to the read prompt. And then this is going to go back to getting the contact information extracted, and then see that loop back to the block to get this, right? And then for new block 17, if else, which means if the AI is able to capture everything, email address, name, and phone number, it's going to post to a make.com workflow, which is right here, which is very simple, creating webhook, which again, if you don't know how to do a webhook in make.com, you can watch my previous videos. They're all about make.com, and for I believe all of them have been using webhooks to kind of interact with different application outside of make.com. So this is gonna wait for information, because the instant trigger is going to wait for information coming out of this post request, right? And then it's going to post to, and then from here, I'm posting to a Google Sheet, right? So in this case, it's a new booking for retreat, and the Google Sheet is right here, right? So it does. So every time there's which again, I'm going to demo it to you, but every time there's something coming in, this information would be having the names, emails, phone numbers, and booking types inside the Google Sheet to create a new role. Okay, so I think that is kind of, and then the last step is to go back to the fallback loop and ask the customer if there's anything else, right? So this is kind of the most complicated kind of workflow for this case, in this case. And honestly, I'm just gonna stop here pretty much, because the second one, which is a coaching session, is essentially the same thing, asking the confirming with the customer, and then asking which session they want to book, right? And then checking for the full name, contact information, and then get them booked right in the system. And then the purchasing books thing, because I haven't got the payment system ready, so I haven't really set it up fully. But you get the idea. This is kind of I think the basic functionalities of what Voiceflow can do. And I'm just going to do a quick demo right away, because I feel like I'm talking too much. And remember, you have to do the training session every time when you're trying to test your chatbot. Make sure to go to the training session. When you toggle to this little circle on besides training, it will show, if it's showing blue color, it says it's fully trained. Otherwise, it's going to show red. It's going to be untrained. I realize every time you're creating new intent, you do need to train the chatbot a little bit. But anyway, all right, let's just run the test right now. And then open this up, because then you will see like the variables getting filled when you're interacting with the chatbot. So right here it says I'm Dave from HJI, and how may I be? Say let's ask a general question, right? Hi, how are you? Right? So this thing would come to this thing would come to actually the bottom. Did you see that? It's probably a little quick, but it says it's not getting the intent of it. The intent is none, so that it comes down to this thing trying to answer questions from a database, but he didn't get a database because he didn't see anything. And then it's just replying to the customer's request from general AI, right? So general AI, if you type hi to general AI, what's going to reply to you? It says, I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. My AI assistant. How can I assist you today? Right? Is there anything more? Okay, this is a little bit more of fine tuning, because you don't want the chatbot to be a double replying to the customer, because obviously this one goes back to the fallback loop. So it triggers the text again from the fallback loop. So it started to ask, is there anything else I can do? Okay, let's say I want to book say retreat. Okay, if you think that these information are too annoying, because I've opened up the believe the debugging mode, so it shows a lot of information like the intent model, but you can deactivate it All right. So if it looks like if you're interested in scheduling retreat sessions, is that correct? Say correct. Yes. Okay. Okay. Specify the room type on a book. I say shared house. Okay. So it comes down to block 7. It says great. Now I need your full name. So let's just. All right. It looks like I just somehow because I've turned on all the mode and now I have just kept the debug mode. I've taken out the intent confidence mode and guided navigation mode. Now it's started to work properly. And see, I'm also learning when doing this. So let me let me just sorry, let me just kind of rerun this so that you know we can have a more lively situation going on. Just gonna say book retreat where I left it just now. Are you looking at book retreat? Yes. I'm just gonna say private room, right? Just say David. I don't know, David, and then I was just entering an email and then without the phone number. So let's say what he says. Right, now it's working right. So it says, apologize for inconvenience. It appears that information is incorrect or incomplete. Make sure you include a full name and email address and phone numbers, right? So apparently, if you see over here, it's getting the right customer name. It is getting the customer phone number as 0 and the email address as correctly. So it's missing the phone number. That's why it's triggered and it goes to path 1. Let's try it again. David. Let's write a sentence. My name is David Moore. Phone number is da-da-da. Let's write a dash there, right? And email is me@me.com. Let's try this time. There we go. It says, all right, so it gets my name, my email address, it gets the David Moore, and it gets the phone number, right? And then it says, excellent, booking confirmed. Do you need anything? So it comes back to the fallback loop. But then if I go back to the over here, see that row number 6? It's David Moore with the email, with the phone number, and then with the private room, which is the booking type. Whew, finally, it's working. So, I think this is just, I want to show you guys a prototype of a chatbot that you can build with. Really, I just learned all this on my own by watching a lot of YouTube videos. As I mentioned, I'll be sharing the export VF version of this Voiceflow, um, you know, canvas in the description, and also the make.com workflow. I mean, this is simple, but I'll also be sharing this blueprint with you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for support, and I'll see you next time.